Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to be with you here in Cannes. Maybe you could begin with a brief introduction to your film, Arco. In your own words, what can people expect going into your movie?
Arco was I began I it appears like from a drawing. I just drew a head that was getting out of the sky, and then I just traced like with colors a rainbow just after it, and I sent it to my partner at Remembers, and I was telling him, oh, it could be a great music video. It could be this kid and he meets this girl, and he told me it's not a music video. It's a feature film. And at the world was not going that good after COVID, and I was thinking that world wasn't gonna be better in the next years, immediate years. So, and I really wanted to give a hug to humanity, to myself, to my wife, to my family, and to the rest of the audience, and I knew making animation movies was taking a lot of time, so I really wanted to do something that was important for us, and I really wanted to hug, to make a big hug. This was the project, to make a big hug to everybody, and to say it's gonna, if we trust imagination, if we trust sensitivity, emotions, I think it's the only way to be able to pass everything, and to stay humans. And yeah, that was the project.
Of course, you've had a successful career as an illustrator and graphic novelist. What was it that made this idea, this project, distinct, that it had to be a film? And what was it like, I guess, making that transition?
In fact, when you have ideas, they have their own lives. Some of the ideas die. They you don't do them because they're not strong enough. They don't stick to you, and every idea I had kind of had its own format. Had to be in that. I'm just really an antenne. How do you say antenne? An antenna. I really feel like I'm an antenna. I'm oriented in a way, and but I just receive what I write, and I try to stick to the idea and to just follow the characters, but I'm it's a really unconscious process, and I really trust unconscious because I think it's the best way to do something original and to not be mechanical also, and I really don't like the movies when they are mechanical. I really wanted something fluid, something natural. That was the hard part because you can't hurry the process, and you have to wait until the ideas come naturally. So yeah, that was it takes time.
And your work's often compared to Miyazaki's, but it's
This is
also
new.
got,
This is new. Yeah, yeah.
in terms of, but it's also got its own look and feel and style. Where would you say you sort of take your inspirations from in terms of the way the animation looks?
I think it looks like Miyazaki because I think it's the best artist ever in every field of art. But the style is really different, more realistic. There's, for example, the backgrounds are done with lines, and in Miyazaki's movies it's paintings, and yeah. But I think we share the same poetry, the same. I share with him the same poetry, and also a notion of timings, and I think this is what makes us relate, and I'm happy that people say we are in the same family, because to me it's, as I said, it's the best. So yeah.
And in terms of imagining the future, I mean, I feel like that must just be a lot of fun, kind of imaginatively and creatively. And I think what's great about it, of course, it's things that are out of reach, but they seem very plausible as well. So how did you go about thinking, about the domes, the tree houses, the holograms, and how did you want it also to feel like something that, isn't so out of reach from today?
Yeah, in fact, science fiction is amnesiac. Amnesics, usually it's like we think that in the future everything is gonna be new, but no, now we are in the future of our past, and we live in houses that were built in the 19th century, and my future is based on our past. In fiction, it's super important, as you're telling a story that it's not true, to rely on things that are true and that we know, so we can accept what is invented, what is created from scratch. If you are not based on a tangible reality, you're just out of everything. And to me, what is important is emotions. Yeah, so that's the only thing and I think if we believe in what we see and if we recognize in what we see, that's the only way to feel things. And because yeah, we have to say, oh, I saw that, I lived that. Yeah.
Although the film is sort of exploring ecological collapse and sort of saturation by technology, it never quite goes into sort of dystopia, which I know is explored in lots of more sort of like other sci-fi futuristic films. Why did you want to make that balance between realism but also having some kind of optimism still there?
Yeah, because I think things are never black and white. There's a lot of shades of gray, and things are bad. Technology is sometimes bad, but can be good, and that's what I wanted. Also, is not judge. No, I didn't want to judge us. I didn't want to judge technology. I didn't want to judge climate change. I just ask questions. I don't say you must do that or we are dead. I don't want to give lessons to anybody. I just want to say that's the world we live in. Iris's world is actually the world we live in with just a little amplification. My goal is not to say we have to do that. It's just okay, we're living in that world. What can we do so we get better? How can we heal?
And coming specifically to sort of cultural memory, which you touched upon in System Preference, why is that maybe also one of your key preoccupations of thinking about what is preserved in a complete sort of tech-driven world?
In fact, technology has always been with us. Stupid, etymologically, we say that, yeah, means that the guy that is stupid is the guy that doesn't help himself with a baton. And this is the first technology. But technology always at one point was to free us time to be inside us, to get access to our poetic person, to our imagination. And what afraids me a lot is that technology now does the opposite. It grabs us from us. It takes us out of our poetic persona, of our yeah, théâtre intérieur, we say in French, inner theater. To me, this is the main thing. What are we living from our humanity to progress, and are we okay to leave that behind us? And I'm not sure. So I asked the question basically. Yeah.
Obviously, the emotional core of the film is in this bond between Arco and Iris. Why do you think that's quite powerful to kind of give the central part of the film, or the lens of the film, through this friendship between these two children? And why does that give a fresh perspective to the issues you're exploring?
Yeah, these are two kids that should never have met, and that are different in every way. But I wanted to say that and to show that even if they don't share the same period, the same country, they share humanity, and they share emotions. And to me, it's to say also that even if we're different in any ways, what we have in common, and we have to never forget it, is that we have sensations, we have emotions, and this is what connects us. And we have to never forget that. If we lose that link, I think this is the end of us. This is the true end of us.
And in terms of what people can take away from the film, in that sense, in the way that it does have this kind of thread of optimism and the focus on children, I guess you could see it as some way a kind of call to action for us in the way we educate our children, but also for the next generation coming up behind us, to not lose hope and still hold on to what we think are, the most important things in life, whether that's human connection, whether that's our cultural heritage, etc., etc.
Yeah, if we break links, and it's really a movie. The Iris era, to me, is really an age of indifference. It's really, and I think we're entering in that era of indifference, of people not watching each other, breaking the links, familial links in the families, and I think this is dangerous for us and for everybody. And we feel, even if it's a slow beginning. We feel the effects super strongly, I think, and COVID was an example of that. And yeah, it's just, and I saw all my friends, parents, friends that do Skype, so I don't know how to say that now, Teams with their families because they're abroad, or I don't know, they have to work, they have, but we sometimes we lose the, yeah, we are not in the good place, and also the feeling of not being in the good place and the good time is super present now, I think. And yeah, I just wanted to say also, like, let's be in the good places, even though if, yeah, the most important is not, eh, sometimes we miss the most important things, you know.
And you were saying before the interview started, it felt very emotional having your film play last night.
Yeah.
What's it meant to you to have it here in Cannes and watch it with an audience here?
I wasn't expecting that I would be moved, yeah, by this, but I saw the team, I saw everybody, I saw my team, with who I worked 5 years. I saw all the efforts, I saw all life we passed through. I had 2 kids during the movie, so everything like fell on me like this, and yeah, I was really moved. Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy. I'm a normal human being, and we see Cannes, like, and it looks super extravagant, but where you're in it, it's like, it's so much work, every movie, and we are so lucky to have these movies to share emotions, and I wasn't expecting that, so I think that's why also I kind of broke. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that
Thank
with me.
you.
Huge
Thanks so
congratulations
much.
on the film. And we enjoy the rest of the time here in Cannes. Thanks so much.
Thank you.